Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Shotsuki service. Today we are remembering those family members and friends who have passed away in the month of July. We are fortunate to have with us today our supervising minister, Reverend Dennis Fujimoto. We will begin with quiet meditation. Please put your hands together in Gasho. Sensei will ring the bell to begin and end our meditation.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Tathagata will be in the brown book today. It's on page 166 when we see the golden sun. Treasures found in the purple book on page 8. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves as the principle of obedience and enlightenment, and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we submerge in the depths of the doctrine, and may the wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony and great assembly at the steps of Buddha, and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony and the spirit of universal oneness, freely from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I will now read the names of the Shotsuki honorees for the July. For those family members and friends, please come forward for incense offering. July Shotsuki. Hichiro Inagawa. Sueyo Ito. Tamano Kai. Toshiko Kaneoka. Kichitaro Kawase. Tamae Kikuchi. Hyakutaro Koga. Yone Korehi. Asako Mato. Yasuda, George Yamamoto, Martha Yoneko Taniguchi, Yusen Shimizu, Yoshio Sugioka. Continue with sutra chanting. We'll start with Sambujo, which is on page 24 of the Purple Book, followed by dedication, and today's sutra will be Amida Kyo, pages 103 to 113.
Shotsuki service for the month of July. Members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages: Namo Butsu, Namo Ho, Namo So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Satsu Amida Kyo Yose Namo Shiki Buzai Shane Kokoki Juki Koro Yodai Bikushu Senni Yakugo Junin Kukaise Dayara Shusho Chishi Shoro Shari O Maka Mokenden Maka Kasho Maka Kasenyen Maka Kuchira Ata Shuri Andaga Nanda Ananda Padai Binzuru Madada Karudai Maka Kohina Akura Manuluda Dose Toshodai Zeshi Tosho Satsumaka Satsumonju Shiri Hoji Ita Osa Kenda Kadai Osa Josho Jimbosa Yonyo Seto Shodai Osa Yushodai Kaninto Buryo Shoten Dai Shukuni Shoro Shari Ho Sai Ho Aju Anu Sekai No Matsura Amida Kongen Zai Seppo Shari No Hito Kako Hito Ramo Kushu Anju Shoraku Tomyo Kuraku Shari Ho Kurakuro Shishiju Anju Shishiju Ramo Shishiju Moju Kaise Shimo Shuso Niyo Seko Niyo No Matsu Kuraku Shari Ho Kurakuro Ushiko Chiyakuro Suri Mango Chukitai Junni Sharuji Shien Kaino Kongon Runi Hari Bojo Choro Kanani Kongon Runi Hari Shako Shushu Beno Ninon Jikishi Jiju Nenge
Shaiyo Shari Shoshiki Shoko Oshiki Oko Shakushiki Shako Yakushiki Rako Nino Kesu Shari Ho Kokura Kokuro Junyo Se Kuro Shokon Ushari Ho Ibu Kokuro Yosa Tenkaku Ogon Nishi Shuya Ruji Niru Bandara Ke Koku Shuyo Yogi Shotan Kakui Eko Shoshuyo Ke Shuyo Taho Yuman Dokun Sokui Chichi Sento Oku Kiyo Shari Ho Kukura Kokuro Chojuno Se Kuro Shoko Ushin Shari Ho Kokuro Ushujukinyo Tashi Shicho Yanko Kuraku Omo Shari Karyo Binga Gubyo Shicho Sesho Shucho Shanya Rokuji Suiwage Onto Ongecho Ongo Shichibo Laibun Ashodo Yose Tomo Ono Shujo Onse Oni Aishisu Butsu Temple Nensho Shari Ho No Tsukishi Tenzai Kosho Shara Ibu Fokuro Samakushu Shari Ho Koku Kokuro Shokun Samakuro Shino Shakyo Kujitsu Tesho Shujo Kaise Amida Butsu Hoyo Senru Enge Shosa Shari Ho Ibu Kokuro Ifu Suiro Shoho Goju Namo Srinyo Nino Nakusenju Toji Kusa Onze Onsha Taichi Nenjo Nenbutsu Nenpo Nenso Shishin Shari Ho
Have a Dharma message by Reverend Fujimoto.
to be back here this month. Lots of people are here today. I think we had a good, healthy list of August Shotsuki names, and it's always nice to see all of you coming up and want to Oshoko, offer incense, and to acknowledge, recognize the people you have lost in your families. In Alameda, we also have our Shotsuki service the first Sunday of the month, and today in particular, just 5 minutes before service, one of the new member came up, and not so familiar, but becoming accustomed to our traditions. And Shotsuki, as a sensei, said, can you add my mother's name to the Shotsuki reading? It's a little bit late, but could you please add her name? So sure, and he came up and I wrote down her name and included her in the reading of the name. So he and his wife were able to come up and offer incense, and little by little, that newer members first they observe and watch. I think they are touched to see that we have such a service as monthly memorial, and they want to be a part of that. They want to participate and include the people they've lost in their families. So very nice and to be able to accommodate such a request. And it's a way that we learn. If there are new people here at this service, you see what the monthly memorial is about, and maybe next time, next year, or someone else, you want to include a name into the Shotsuki list and be a part of this. So, not just being temple members. You know, the person who asked me today, he's new and not Buddhist by birth or anything. So just to be able to acknowledge his mother was not Buddhist, but still his mother was his mother. And for that reason, we acknowledge them, right? So I think it's very healthy and nice to be able to see that kind of participation and becoming accustomed, recognizing what we offer, what we do here in our Shin Buddhist services. So I want to talk about a little bit about our bazaar last week in Alameda, and next weekend I'll be here to be here at your bazaar and watching all the thousands of chickens sacrificing their lives for our temple. Yeah, for a long time now, I go to the chicken barbecue pit, when they first start, and I put on my robe and bring out the chanting cards and throw some incense on the pit and hand out to the cooks chanting cards. So we're going to have memorial service for the chickens now, and they're kind of laughing, but they're into it. I've done it for a number of years, and not that long ago, some of the other ministers are laughing about that. Oh, we should do that. And wherever I've been, maybe 20 years now, I've been doing this memorial service for chickens, and so I tell them, okay, you chant with your left hand and turn the chicken with your right hand. And so incense is burning in the pit, and it goes up quickly, but we acknowledge all the sacrifice that the chickens give, that we are able to have the temple and our traditions that we have. So that's one of the things that happened at our bazaar. And another thing, I had a little table information booth about the temple, about Buddhism, and wheel that you spin. Kids can win something, adults can win a book or something that they would like to have, toys for the kids. And we're separate from the games booth that the Dharma school has. So when I had a break, I went over to the Dharma school. They have these games, maybe 4 or 5 booths. Right? So I walked by the booths and I look in there, and kids are helping, encouraging, do you want to play? Do you want to play? And giving them the things that they need, whether they're balls or a fishing pole or whatever, and handing out the tickets, prize-winning tickets. But looking in the booth, first booth, second booth, third booth, I don't recognize any of the kids. None of them are part of our Dharma school, right? who are these guys? Am I at the wrong temple or what? But, our Dharma school students and their parents, they're encouraging, you want to help us? We're having our bazaar, and enlisting volunteers themselves to, why don't you come and work a shift here and there, and then encouraging people so they don't come regularly, but they're very happy to help, right? So many other aspects of the bazaar, you see this happening, friends helping friends, and not necessarily a temple member, but they want to participate and be a part of it all. And so it's very nice to see, and a nice way to show them what we do as Buddhists, what kind of people we are as Buddhists, and all of that is kind of very healthy for us, for people to be able to see what this temple represents and what we add to the communities that we are a part of. So that was always nice. One of the new things we had was bingo. We used to have bingo way back in the day, and we quit for a while and then decided to bring that back. And new voices are calling bingo, and some of the young new members of our temple. Sometimes the dads, they don't have a role or a place, so they kind of stand quietly to the side at first, but you give them a job, and then it's like da-da-da, and they come out and their voices are booming out and encouraging people. It's, wow, I didn't know that part of them. So, give them something to do, they'll jump right in. And so you see this new energy, different people jumping in. So that's always very nice to see. And one of the things from my booth, I could just watch, and some people come and say hello to Sensei, and some people just get a snack and sitting quietly over there, and I can see them over there, right? But remembering what we did his mother's service, maybe it's 5 years ago now, right? Where you see this other person, and through the years at the temple, having done family members that they have lost, right? And so remembering them and makes me think again about what does the temple as a whole offer to our community. So many services that we offer, times of grieving and providing comfort when we have some difficult loss, right? And through our tradition, we have all those things that we offer. And during our funerals, we chant the Shoshinge that is written by our founder, Shinran Shonin. At the end, we always end by reading the White Ashes, one of the letters from the collection called the Gobunsho. And on the other side of our main altar, Renmyo Shonin is the 8th Gobunshu. So he wrote a number of letters. I wanted to touch upon a couple of them today. So the one we're most familiar with is at our funeral services, and we read on the White Ashes, and he had written 5 groups of letters, and so this White Ashes is part of this 5th group of letters that he had written, and the letters go out written in easier to read, not scholarly writings, but simple one-page letters. When you see the book of his collection of letters, one letter's on one page, so fairly short, right? And White Ashes, you read just this much, and they had written a translation of this in the Seattle Betsuin. The lay members translated this, and one of the people that works on it, he's a fairly new member over there, but telling us that he keeps that book on his home altar, and he'll read one letter each time he has a service at his own altar. And because they're short, they're not difficult, right? Just like reading our meditation today, but he'll read his letter, and different letter each time, and through that, over the months or years, you'll get to become a little more familiar with what Renyo Shonin was writing, what he was emphasizing. So in the White Ashes, he's writing about how short a human life is, for them to, not too many, to even live for 100 years, right? And the part that I always remember, maybe many of us, those who live before us, are as countless and as fragile as the drops of dew, right? And you think about the dewdrops that we see maybe in the morning, it's just there temporarily and then they are gone, right? And so talking about life being like that, right? Not to be sad about this, but it's just very factual, right? Saying in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may be white ashes, and we don't know. It's not just the elderly that pass, right? We've had friends who are younger that have passed away, and this is the truth of human existence. So he's pointing this out and reminding us that we're all like this. So place this understanding, this recognition of this path, the Nembutsu path, to come to understand, to come to recognize this path, Nembutsu path, where we become awakened, connected to this greater reality, and not just in our own little bubble and here and gone. Okay? So he's pointing this out, and we remind ourselves each time there's a funeral service. So we hear this again and again, and this is what reminds us of these teachings. And hopefully we think about it, it comes into our, not only our minds, but our hearts, and we come to recognize our limitations and just the preciousness of our time. So through that, whatever we do, the steps we take next become deeper, right, and fuller. So he had written another letter in one of his first groups, and I noticed this because there he was writing about lightning and morning dew. So again, pointing out morning dews, because that touches me. I wonder what he wrote again about morning dew. So this must be an earlier letter than he wrote the White Ashes in his 5th collection. This was in the 1st collection. So kind of similar, he's writing the pleasures of human life last only as long as a flash of lightning or the morning dew. Okay? And how rare it is to live 50 or 100 years. So I was thinking, when on my cell phone, sometimes I get this blurb that comes out, and it's Quora, Q-U-O-R-A. I don't know if any of you get it, but different questions about anything, basically. And sometimes it's about, what happens when we die? What happens, can you see someone else when you die, or things like this? But on one occasion, asking this 90-year-old man, at your age, what would you consider the best age of life? So asking this 90-year-old man, and the man said, I think the best years are when I was in my mid-70s. So I thought that was very interesting, because I'm in my mid-70s, right? So he's pointing to me, and I feel like I'm crumbling little by little. But he's saying, those are a good time, but thereafter, gradually you start losing your health. This goes wrong, that goes wrong, and it kind of adds up quickly, and you don't fully recover. So he thought about it in that manner, and I could see his point. Now I'm in my mid-70s, but I don't think I would rather be 60 or 50. I'm very happy to be at the age I am. I wish I were not. Maybe my knees could feel better, my butt can feel better, right? Maybe I'd have my full head of hair again. No, these things are not going to happen. Right? But for him to say that, and then for me to think, yeah, how fortunate I am. So basically, no matter what age we are, this is the best time, right? So all these things come to mind as I'm reading these letters. So, but one part in his letter on lightning and dew, he was talking about the misunderstanding, misinterpretations that ministers or priests might have. It's kind of fitting with bizarre season. He said these days, the priests in this region who practice the Butsu have a variance in the Buddha Dharma. They have a different understanding, improper understandings. So they call followers from whom they receive donations as good disciples, right? So someone will donate something to the temple, maybe a substantial donation. So these are good disciples of the Dharma, right? And so Renyo is saying this is not a good understanding, right? So just because they give a nice donation, doesn't mean that they're closer to becoming awakened. They're not closer to becoming a Buddha. They just had the means to be able to participate. So Renyo's writing these 500 years ago. But we talk about the exact same thing, right? We've had board meetings, probably here, Alameda for sure. But we get a nice donation, substantial donation for a person. Should we acknowledge them? How should we acknowledge them? This is special, over and above, right? But at the same time, you don't want to do too much, because you pat them on the back, and it inflates their ego too, right? And so we're moving against the Dharma of what we're teaching. So when a minister, a priest says that to someone, oh, you're a great disciple, kind of encouraging, kind of like fishing for more donations, right? And this is not the proper understanding. So he's saying, members also think in this way, that they think maybe if they give some additional donation to the minister, maybe this will put him in good standing. So thank you very much. You're a good disciple. You're a good member of the temple, right? So we have this. I know we have concerns. How much is this roof going to cost, right? We had a capital campaign in Alameda because we had to replace our roof. And it's expensive, right? And so we go through all this and announce this capital campaign, donations of all kinds of sizes come in. But how do we acknowledge, how do we recognize? It's not easy. So we talk about this at the board level, talking to our presidents and whoever, people who've been here a long time. How do we handle this, right? So we got done with our roof, but not only a month later, so our electrical's not up to speed. In fact, we wouldn't even pass inspection right now. We better do this right away. So most of the electrical wiring in this needs to be replaced. Walls we have to rip into and all this kind of stuff that's going to go on. But we don't want to, we just had a capital campaign. We don't want to announce another one. Right? So how should we word it, right? And so these kind of difficulties happen. At our temples, a lot of them, 75 years, 100 years, 125 years in Oakland. I went to speak earlier this year in Palo Alto, and they had, after the rain, they had a lot of trouble with the ceiling leaking, right? So we're going to have to replace our roof. So they're talking about the roof. It just so happened when I came, they had gone through and they put the blue tape to mark where the leaks were, right? And so I come into the temple, there's blue tape everywhere. And so, oh wow, yeah, it is a major work, all over the window, all over the social hall, every room had blue tape. So sad to see, but that's the reality of all our temples, that we're going through this period, right? That we have to do these kinds of repairs. Not easy, but somehow we have to accommodate that, right? So what do we do? How do we say it? How do we word it? Right? And we don't want to burden people too much. I know we've had discussions, these types of discussions among our ministers group, and thinking, any kind of donation, we should not say too much about it. One of the ministers said, we used to list all the donations in our newsletter. Then we decided not to list any of the donations. And you know what? People quit donating. So they stopped donating. They didn't want to see their recognition that I donated $100, $500, whatever. And they want to have their name listed. They want to have people see that they are generous, and that makes sense too. But at the same time, it's kind of like push and pull. Ego, we want this recognition. Is that good or bad? It's just human nature, right? Just human nature, right? So, but we, as a temple, we draw these lines, and sometimes they're not easy, they're difficult. But reading this letter from Enyo, 500 years ago, now, 500 years from now, same kind of question is going to come up, right? How do we deal with it? How do I think about it? How do you think about it? And so this becomes kind of our own path to see what this Nembutsu path is about. Right? We do acknowledge that we have this ego-centeredness, and this causes all the difficulties in our lives. Right? We want to have this pat on the back. We want to have recognition. We want to have an effect. But at the same time, this ego is what limits our ability, that we are in this bubble of ego. And beyond the bubble is Amida. So as long as we keep this bubble too healthy, we don't make this connection with Amida. And this Nembutsu, Namo Amida does not complete itself. So this is all part of what we go through, listening to Dharma talks, helping. We see how it is at a bazaar, working together for the most part. There might be a couple of arguments here and there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Nobody wants to admit to it. We'll just smile and knowingly, right? Okay, but all of these things happen, and they happen again and again, not only at temples, but wherever you are. Families go through this, societies go through this, and this is part of our reality as in our human existence. Difficulties go on, at the same time we have such a small window, right? So think about what is most important. And then Yoshoni is saying, this awakening, our recognition of our limitations and how much we reinforce it, how much we can open up to what is beyond, to what is Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. So, yeah. There was one more letter I was going to share, but I'll save that for a rainy day. So I think I've spoken enough today. Really looking forward to the bazaar coming this weekend. One of the good things about living in Alameda is I don't have to help every single day that you guys do. So I'll just come and have my chicken. Okay, please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for sharing your insights. Our closing gatha will be in the purple book on page 234, Sambo no On. Are there any announcements?
Good afternoon. As I mentioned in the past, the BCA is having their members' red carpet weekend on the last weekend of August, and the BCA is currently taking registration for this. If there is any cost to this, the temple will take care of that if you are interested. And if you've seen it in the Wheel of Dharma, this is where during that weekend, you're able to stay at the Jodo Shinchu Center and see what it is that the BCA does. And the BCA is the kind of parent organization for all the BCA temples, the 59 temples that we have across the country. And it is the organization that kind of helps to tell us how we're supposed to take care of your ministers, take care of your Sangha, and try to grow your Sangha. So if you're ever interested in what the BCA does, the members' Red Carpet Weekend, as I mentioned, is the last weekend of August, and anyone who is a temple member is certainly welcome to go. Also, you will notice at the bazaar that there may be some flyers showing that we are going to be starting a yoga group starting in September. And Christine Matsumoto Devo is a certified yoga instructor, and she has been to the BCA sessions on going through the meaning of yoga and the way that the BCA is promoting this this type of activity, and it is open to anybody. There is no physical requirement, and in fact, Christine is very familiar with how to teach yoga for people who want to do it in a chair. So she is quite capable of being able to take anybody of any ability, and you will see some more information about this at the time of the bazaar and in the Sangha. So if you are interested, it's right now just going to be one session per month, probably the first Sunday of the month. So if you are interested, please talk to either Christine or myself. It's actually better to talk to Christine. And she can certainly let you know what she plans, and hopefully this will be an activity that a lot of people will find helpful and interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Any other announcements? If not, this will conclude today's service. I'd like to thank Reverend Fujimoto for his Dharma message, Daryl Yagi for the kancho and setting up the onaijin, Dr. Kent Matsuda for playing the organ, and the July Toban for the offerings and the flowers. If you have not done so, please feel free to offer incense, and light refreshments will be served in the hall. Thank you.